Hey guys, it's SJ, it's Monday, so this means it is Baby Name Monday here on my channel. If you're brand new, my name's SJ, I am a mum of 3 and I make baby name videos every single Monday here on YouTube. You'll also often see me on the press reporting on things from like the royal baby name or baby name trends, and this is one of the YouTube's largest communities for baby names. I think it's the biggest one, we've been going the longest, and you all join in the comment section below. So I really want you to get involved on the list here and now. So I'm going to be telling you 40 amazing vintage nicknames that make really unique first names for girls. I love playing around with names. I love seeing where names come from, what they mean, and sort of different variations of them. And the nickname trend is going nowhere. You know, it's so popular now to just name a child by what traditionally would have been a pet form, a form of endearment or a nickname, because often families shared a name. So in a family, you'd always, all the girls would be called Elizabeth, and then that's why there's so many variations of Elizabeth, like Betty, Betsy, all of those, Liz, Libby. Everything comes from having lots of people in your family named Elizabeth. So there's some wonderful vintage nicknames that now make common first names. There's also some really unique nicknames for traditional vintage names. So I wanted to give you as many options as possible, which is why there are 40 names on this list. I'm just going to share them with you. I'm going to show you the stats and meanings as well. I hope you find something you love, and I would love you to join in below, and I will also let you know at the end a new way of getting involved with the community here in Baby Name Monday. So don't forget to listen out for that as well. So the first way around I've done this is a quite traditional nickname name with some rarer long names. So the name is Winnie. It's one of our most popular names at the moment. It appears on lots of my lists, on lots and lots of forums. You guys seem to really love it as well, and it is really on the rise. It's 317, so it's almost like the new Lottie for Charlotte. Winnie is out there, it is popular, it is gorgeous, and so you may want to pick a more unique, longer name if you don't want just the nickname name. And it is quite nice for them to have either like a daring nickname and then a traditional name, so they can kind of like play with their own name a little bit as well. One of my children is Frederick. We call him Freddie, and now he and his mates call him Fred now that he's 10, and I love it. I think it's such a fun, lovely nickname that's more unique than Frederick. So with a name like Winnie, Winifred was the traditional full name, but you could go with something much more modern, like a Winslow. We love that name. It's like a place name, or Winslet. Again, another place name, and the surname of Kate Winslet, so it's got kind of like a Hollywood cool to it as well. So she could have a lovely, rare name with a quite wearable modern nickname, if that makes sense. So I loved that combination. Tiggy is a name that is such a vintage nickname. There are 7 babies named Tiggy alone, just as the nickname last year in the UK, and it's kind of like what we would call kind of like an upper class nickname. So famously, Prince William and Prince Harry, Diana's best friend, is Tiggy, and they still talk about her a lot as kind of like a second mum. So I think that's where the association kind of comes from in my mind. But I love it, and I've seen a few Instagrammers have started using the name Tiggy, and I was like, I love it. But yeah, only 7 people have been brave enough to use it as a name alone. So traditionally it was the nickname for the Greek name Antigone. So Antigone, I see it on so many name lists, and I've always kind of avoided it because I've been like not sure how to say it, but it is Antigone. There were only about 10 babies named Antigone last year, so it's quite unusual, but it could suddenly be a breakout star like Ophelia has been. So Antigone is lovely, and she was the daughter of Oedipus in the Greek mythology. But if you wanted something else, you could also use Tiggy as a short form for something like Tabitha. Tabitha is a very traditional English name. It's hold steady at around the 200 mark. She could obviously be Tabs, but Tiggy would be a really cute way, and it's very feline to me, Tabitha and Tiggy. Tabitha, it's because it's Tabby Cat, isn't it? I was like, why am I associating that? Not that strange at all. Tabitha, Tiggy, yeah, who doesn't love cats? So I love that, and I also thought of Antonia. So Antonia, again, it's one of those lovely, long and elegant, classic, timeless names. My friend just had 2 twins, Antonia and Jimena, and I really have never thought of Antonia, but I really love it. And I love Tiggy as a nickname for Antonia. I love Tony as a nickname for Antonia as well. So Tony is actually a really beautiful and kind of very modern nickname name for a girl. So yes, that was Tiggy, Antigone, Tabitha, lots of names there. Which one do you like out of that whole set? So the next nickname as first name is the name May. May you will know about a lot. I actually thought it was way more popular than it is, but May spelled M-A-Y like the month is only at 778, and May spelled M-A-E, which is the more traditional name way of the vintage name way, is a little bit higher at 624. I feel like I know a lot of Mays, but actually it's always middles or it's double barreled. So actually using May simplicity by itself as a first name is still quite unique but lovely. And I wanted to give a huge shout out to Philia, who gave me the idea for this list by her comment last week, because she had said that she really loves the name Salome with the nickname May. We love the idea of using a unique name like Salome, which means protected by God, but then giving a baby the very wearable nickname of May if she didn't want such a unique name. So that's kind of how this idea got started in my head, Salome with the nickname May, and I think it's a beautiful combination and a great way of naming somebody. I also really adore the nickname Coco. Coco is a more modern one, but it does have the vintage vibes of kind of like Coco Chanel. I love Coco spelled with the K as well, because then it kind of gets me a bit more of that modern vibe as well. And I think for me, if I was going to go with Coco, maybe I would use the K. So long forms of it, traditionally you could go with something like Colette. I think Colette is so stunning. I've got a real crush on this name at the moment. It is a French name and it means victory of the people, so such a great name for right now. A real badass girl named Colette, very soft and French and pretty, but then with a really cute nickname of Coco. So if you love Coco but you're sort of like got a more traditional naming partner, then you might be like, what about Colette? And then you sneak in the Coco as a little nickname later. Or she could be Letty as well, which is absolutely beautiful. Or another great full name for Coco is Dakota. So Dakota, this is really newly on my like list. I know everyone always asks me to say which names I don't like, and I haven't really liked the name Dakota before. For some reason, maybe it was the D, but then I've really lately started to really be drawn to it. It's a girl's name, of course. It's Native American origin, meaning friendly one. And I think my sister mentioned it to me. She really liked it, and then it sort of, she did sway me a lot on it, Dakota. I hate filming here because I'm filming by my window. My neighbour just taking his bins in. He's like, what is she doing? And they think I'm filming the road because they wouldn't figure out that the camera's twisted to me. Weird neighbour. That's me, I'm the weird neighbour, not him. So the next one is a really unique one, but that I love, and it is the nickname Goldie. So Goldie Hawn, like 70s siren kind of name, and actually the name Golden in its full form, a lot of you have told me is in your family tree. It's come up a few times on different lists, Golden as a name, and you may be thinking, I would love to honour that or have the nickname Goldie or somewhere in the name, but I'm not too sure what to use it for. So you could use the name Aurelia. So Aurelia is a really beautiful name. It means golden. So I love that. I've always loved it from Love Actually, the movie, when she's Aurelia. That's my favourite story in Love Actually, that one. When he goes back and asks her to marry him, then she's Aurelia, and so you could have that name and then nickname her Goldie. She could also, if she's Aurelia, be Ray, which is a really popular nickname, R-A-E. So it's a beautiful one as well. I liked the idea that because she was Aurelia, she was golden, you could call her Golden Girl, which I think is really sweet, my little golden girl. And then you could even then call her Gigi, because it's a nickname, because I really like the nickname Gigi. So I've got a bit, I went deep then. I overthought it, I know. But what if you're not going to overthink a baby's name, then you're just not doing it right. So yes, Aurelia with the nickname Gigi, because it means golden girl, because Aurelia means golden. Makes perfect sense. So doing it the other way around now, giving you the vintage name. I like the name Margaret. It is a vintage classic, but it's actually quite getting used. It's at number 392. And I wonder if one of those where lots of people are picking the full name Margaret, but the nickname is more what they go by, because the nicknames are sort of around at the same ranking. But Pearl, of course, Margaret means pearl. So you could go with Margaret and then nickname her Pearl or Pearly, which I think is just so beautiful. Even Perla, and that's another variation of it. Pearl is at number 246, but I really loved the name Peggy, and the vintage nickname Peggy. I just think it is absolutely adorable, so sweet. I can just imagine my little daughter being Peggy. I think it's a really cute one. It's at number 494, and this one is like, boop, it's on its way up, like Betty a few years ago. Right the way up there to the top of the charts. 494, Peggy, and I think that's such a lovely name, and then her full name being Margaret. Beatrix is a name that we know, like Elizabeth I talked about right at the beginning, that goes everywhere and anywhere. Beatrix is at number 100, and I can't see today because I'm by this window, 153. But the nickname that I absolutely love is Busy. I think the nickname Busy is so lovely. It's kind of got 50s kind of almost kitsch vibes to it, and you can spell it with a double Z, or you could just spell it like Busy Phillips, the actress. She just spells it as busy, as in being busy. And funnily enough, another nickname for Beatrix is Birdie, which I think is so beautiful. If I had little Beatrix, I've always just thought of calling her B, but I would definitely think a bit more about Birdie. I think it's lovely, and Busy Phillips has a daughter named Birdie, so I wonder if she knew. She's got great names. She's got one of my baby name celebrity crushes. She does it really well. You could also go with Trixie. Trixie is unranked at the moment. It sounds very much like a My Little Pony. Is it a My Little Pony? I've been playing a lot of My Little Ponies this weekend. Trixie, but I think it's so lovely. And then I thought you could even bounce that to Pixie if you wanted. If you love the name Pixie and your husband or your partner is just like, no, then say, well, we're going to call her Beatrix. And then later on, she just becomes your little Pixie. You know, who would have guessed? You could also go with Bliss as a nickname for Beatrix. There were so many beautiful ones coming up, way beyond just B, or even Riri. Beatrix is a Riri. I really like that as well. So it goes absolutely everywhere, this name. It's a beautiful one with the X, and I absolutely love those. Which do you like the best for a nickname for Beatrix? I really love the nickname Nell. Nell is such a beautiful vintage nickname. Originally for things like Eleanor, and an Eleanor can become a Nell, and I think it's so lovely. I hear it a lot being chosen now as a middle spot, but I think it will make the bounce to first spot very, very soon. Nellie, of course, is already out there and very well used as a first name. More recently, it's at number 180. In the charts as a standalone name, but she could, if she was Eleanor, also go with Nora, which is another vintage name. It's at number 197 and rising. She could go with Lena, which I really like, which is a Swedish name and was really high on our own personal list for a while. But I really love the nickname Nell. I just think it is so gorgeous, and Charlotte Louise Taylor has a Daisy Nell, and I was just like in heaven when I heard that combination. So what do you think of the nickname Cece? It's so lovely, isn't it, Cece? And it's actually just started to really kind of pop a little bit on the charts. It's at number 14, but I reckon that it will be one of those that keeps going up quite high, Cece. It's so unusual, but we've all kind of heard it. And I'm thinking for a long form of it, you could go with something really different, which is Serafina. So I bounced to Cece somehow, but I started off with Serafina, which I love as a name. It means fiery one. Really, really beautiful, long, elegant name. And the nickname Raffi, for that boy name, kind of cool for a little girl. Raffi is really, really nice. There were actually 17 baby boys named Raffi last year. I was so shocked because I think I know at least 4 of them. I know so many Raffis, but again, that must be because the parents are using a different full name. Fifi, of course, is a great one for Serafina, and I really like Fifi. It's a nickname for Sophia and all sorts of things, but you could go with Serafina. But I love Cece. Serafina, Cece, I think works really, really, really well. And I think it's a really vintage sounding nickname for, again, she'd have such an elegant and long name. So really good combination. So the last nickname is the nickname Missy. So I don't know what you think of Missy. Sometimes it sounds a little bit like almost patronising, because sometimes you tell somebody off and say, oh, you little Missy. But I just think it's a really, really pretty name, and we always call Evelina Little Miss, like, hello Little Miss. I don't know why, it's just very cute. So I do really like the name Missy, and I was looking for a longer name for her. So I've gone really weird on this list, I swear. When I'm working them back, I'm like, how did I get to Missy from this? You can probably think of much better names. But the long form I have for it is Nolani, which is a Hawaiian name. Now, the reason I've gone with Nolani is just one of my all-time favourite names. I've wanted it on the list for ages, and I think it's so elegant, and I think it's one I would definitely use with the nickname Missy, because it means heavenly mist. I know what you're thinking, but it works. Trust me, I'm an expert. So I think Nolani, so beautiful, little Missy, and then it's got that lovely link. So I wouldn't really go Misty. I think Misty's a little out there for me, but Missy I really like. And what I love about Nolani is she could also be Noah, which is a nickname that I love for girls. I love the name Noah for girls, but I don't think I'd be brave enough to use it by itself, but I would definitely call her it. And I also love the nickname Lane, and I think a Nolani could go by Noah, Lane or Missy throughout her life or differently, and mix it up for you guys. So that's my list for today. There was 40 names there. I hope you liked some combination of them. I would love you to have a go at this and get involved in the comment section below. Just let me know your full name and some nicknames for it, or go nickname back. I sort of went a few different ways at this list. Just have fun with it. It's baby names, it's all about fun. So to get involved this week is a little bit different because I was so inspired by Philia's comments about having the little girl named Salome with the nickname May. So I'd love you to start me off on a new theme back in the comment section below. You remember a while ago I did whichever was the most voted liked theme idea. I did that next week, so I'm going to do that for the next few weeks. Give me lots of inspiration, start me off on a name list below, fill in more ideas for this, share with a friend, do all sorts. We're nearly at 100k guys. We're nearly there, and I was going to be so excited. I'm going to do something massive celebration for us all when I get to 100k. So don't forget to hit subscribe if you've watched any of these and enjoyed them. And have a lovely, lovely week. I will see you later on this week for more baby names. There's some bonus ones coming up, and take care. Bye bye.